Ah, The Guardian. The Pulitzer Prize-winning Guardian. The paper of record for the British left, the 180-year-old bastion of liberal thought. This is the paper that took me, as a young child, gently by the hand and led my nubile, pliant political psyche through the haunted forest of left-wing politics. The Guardian has always been my paper. When I worked on building sites in my haughty, pseudo-intellectual teenage years, The Guardian was what gave me my sense of moral and intellectual authority. As all my burly, hairy-handed colleagues sat wistfully grunting over a pair of working-class tits in the sun, I was left feeling smugly aloof, drowning under acres of newspaper while reading about the dot-com boom and casting my compassionate yet condescending gaze down upon pitifully oppressed brown people from some forgotten hellhole or another. Those poor, poor noble brown folk. I grew up in a time of societal turmoil. Yeah, I know, unlike all those people who grew up in a time of societal serenity. Nevertheless, the left was firmly on the correct side of history in all the debates I cared about. Race, gender, sexuality, freedom from religion, free speech. I lived in an unfair world, and there was one side of the political divide that had all the right answers. The right won the economic war of the 20th century, but the left won the cultural war. Both victories were a resounding defeat for the opposing side. But even as I was growing up, all the comedians, all the musicians, all the actors and the writers that I liked or had even heard of were fully on the cultural left. I don't think that's particularly why I consider myself to be on the left now, but it was certainly the reason why I grew up that way. I couldn't have grown up any other way. The left wing was cool. It was staying up all night, pilled halfway to fucking insanity while dancing to dub reggae in an abandoned carpet warehouse with a gay Malaysian flight attendant. While the right was weeping for the loss of empire, wearing sensible trousers and going to bed at 9 PM every evening after a drab microwave meal which, on a good day, prefaced a perfunctory socks-on, lights-off, mercifully brief session of dispassionate rutting atop his grey-skinned, sour-faced wife. The left was the side that was sticking two fingers up to authority. You can't tell us what to do, what to think, or what to say. Fuck your religion, fuck your dogma, and fuck your traditions. And The Guardian was my roadmap. It pointed out all the injustices I cared about and displayed a firm dedication to individual liberty and equality of opportunity. See, I'm a total weepy lefty pussy. Oh my god, I'm fucking terrible. Jesus, it's so annoying. High taxes, unsustainable, frivolous public spending. I want to see the Chancellor go fucking mental like a Geordie lottery winner. PlayStation 4s in every prison cell and all the free abortions the nation's devastated teenage uteruses can handle. When it comes to any kind of deviation from the gender or sexual norm, I am right behind you. Probably bleaching your anus. Maybe more if you're lucky. See, I care. I do my homework, and when it comes to queer shit, I'm like one of those pie-memorizing maths prodigies they intermittently discover in backwater Indian villages. But I've got the LGB blah blah acronym memorized to 50,000 decimal places. I pride myself on knowing about esoteric little ethnic enclaves in far-off countries and the specific oppression they face. Similar to how some people like to bring up the plight of the Tibetans to prove how they're virtuous and caring and, like, totally not racist. See, it proves it. I care about little yellow mountain people. And I'll just immediately go over the fucking top of them. The smaller and the less well-known group, the better. Yeah, I think its more pressing concern is the Balochi independence movement in Pakistan. And seriously, it's high time the West stopped ignoring Negrito rights campaigners in the Philippines. Just fucking virtue signaling with the galactic intensity of a gamma-ray burster. Oh, you're interested in the Israel-Palestine conflict? Yeah, that's a little mainstream for my tastes. I prefer an ongoing atrocity that's a bit more underground. You know, because the time when these people really need our help in the West is before they get famous. For someone like you, I'd probably recommend you start out with a bit of quiet weeping about how terribly the Palestinians are treated in Lebanon. Or once in a while, maybe just stop and ponder about how the Chinese Communist Party has oppressed the Kaifeng Jews. Then you might be able to move on to some more serious global injustices. They seriously exist, by the way, Chinese Jews. Look them up. Anyway, my point is, as a liberal person with liberal beliefs, The Guardian was always the one paper for me, and their editorial lines seemed to both echo and inform my own mental lists of things that are important. But something has gone wrong. The paper has become a receptacle for batshit insane, sheltered, guilt-ridden middle-class myopia. It's partially my fault. I have to take some of the responsibility here. You see, I was one of those people in the 90s and 2000s who would mock every vaguely right-wing political complaint with a smug mantra, "It's PC gone mad!" Because only an insane, bigoted fascist would be against a left-wing idea, right? What's that? You want sensible controls on immigration? Well, that must be because you're a right-wing Nazi racist who is terrified of curries and steel pan bands and bright colours and sexy dancing. Let's build a fucking 50-foot wall right around Middle England and let everyone subsist on a steady diet of potato and leek soup, accompanied by warm beer and grey skies. Because people like you think that anything less is just PC gone mad. Ha ha ha, fucking ha, what fucking larks. The jokes generally stuck to that dreary formula. Any idea even slightly right of centre was treated like a request to have the image on a £50 note changed to an anthropomorphised swastika anally raping the Queen. But while we were all laughing and mocking the dusty old prudes who were terrified of change, PC actually did go mad. Air conditioning, clapping, manspreading, racial and gender segregation, stare rape. Whether you call them social justice warriors, cry bullies, or the regressive left, these people are fucking hilariously pompous and self-righteous, and The Guardian is their main outlet in the UK. And the kind of people who take themselves and their first world problems so seriously deserve to be ruthlessly fucking mocked and laughed at for the insufferable, humourless bunch of whining, pointless shitcunts that they are. You may be wondering why, if I'm such a caring, considerate, card-carrying lefty, that I'm mostly taking the piss out of a left-wing newspaper. You might want to go further and suggest that I'm not really a lefty, that in fact I'm some kind of undercover right-winger here to infiltrate and destroy you. You might think that I'm actually a white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchal, transphobic, ableist, body-shaming, heterosis normative misogynist, who is using his claim of left-winginess as a shield to hide behind. Yeah, because everyone knows that the left is double plus good and right is all evil bigotry. Or maybe you think that I'm confused and that I in fact don't even know that I'm a right-winger. I'm too stupid or in denial to realise it. Or maybe you prefer that old cliché about radical left-wingers turning into conservative curmudgeons in their old age. I'm not fucking old, by the way. All these accusations are very commonly thrown out by the far left, the group of stringent ideologues who are constantly on the hunt for traitors to purge. If you find yourself burdened by such thoughts, I'd recommend using Occam's razor to cut through this frothing paranoia like a steampunk Grim Reaper using a heated scythe to slice chunks of a 3-ton cube of compacted bullshit. The simple truth is that it's important to keep your own house in order. When I was younger, it was the right that engaged in censorship, hypersensitive hand-wringing and screeching moral outrage over the tiniest deviation from their accepted, unquestionable dogma. But now this stuff is very much coming from the left. Bad ideas and deplorable tactics remain so, whether they are coming from your side or the opposition. I have right-wing American friends who have spent years cringing over the extremists in their camp, the anti-science, pro-religion, faith-based initiatives people. Over the years, we've been able to find a lot of common ground when criticising the extremes of the Republican Party. But recently, our conversations have shifted, as the cackling insanity began pouring out of the left as fluidly as it had previously poured from the right. Incidentally, I don't have any British right-wing friends, because I don't think I've ever met a British right-winger who was under the age of 50 and wasn't basically a cunt. Like I said, the left already won the culture war, and we fucking devastated the opposition. Now we have to reel in the extremists on our side. It's very easy to criticise those who are against your fundamental beliefs. However, it's harder yet far more vital to criticise those who claim to share your fundamental beliefs. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy's enemy and nothing more, and the best way to damage a cause is to defend it with faulty arguments. But fuck that smorgasbord of cliched aphorisms. Mostly, I just want to make videos taking the piss out of The Guardian, their writers, and the cunt-bustingly retarded shit they come out with. I will only be making fun of people for the things they've said or done. I don't really have any interest in making fun of someone's appearance or things about them that they can't change. I will, however, be shitting on people's background, because I do think that it's relevant, especially when we have private school educated rich kids trying to tell the rest of us how privileged we are because we were born with unfashionable genitals or a pallid epidermis. And because it's fun. And there's nothing that pisses off latte-sipping slacktivists more than reminding them that they're latte-sipping slacktivists. I might do the odd bit of debunking here and there, but the main thrust of this series is to laugh at the pompous, the self-righteous, and the hypocritical. Lastly, and I'd really like to stress the importance of this point, don't contact any of the people in the videos. That's a cunt move. We don't need that. Nobody has the right to tell me that I can't make fun of them or laugh at the stupid shit they've said or done, but they do have the right to ignore me. I'd like people to be able to exercise that right as much as possible. Plus, these fucking parasites thrive on victimhood. At the end of the day, they're the ones trolling you.